So you've decided to put yourself out there and share what you have to offer with the world. Now you have to identify your audience and determine how to reach them. That's not the easiest of tasks. It requires consistency, market awareness, openness to critique, and the ability to listen. And speaking from my own perspective, this means creating content to promote on various social media and other platforms, all for the purpose of building an audience so I can share the stories I'm writing with people beyond my inner circle. It's an endeavor to broaden my sphere of influence. In my situation, I'm targeting a few different groups of people. I'm building the Midlife Capers platform to feature and encourage people in the midlife phase around the idea that trying something different or unfamiliar, taking on a new challenge or adventure, is absolutely possible. I also use that platform to profile my own midlife adventures, from traveling around the country in a camper to writing novels of my own creation rather than what others hire me to do for them. Under that umbrella, I also offer tips and guidance to those who are also interested in writing. Aside from that, with the novels I intend on publishing, I am targeting people who are interested in the particular genre my writing falls under. That's a lot of interest to cater to, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to anyone else. It is requiring a lot of bandwidth to manage the various streams. My point is that you may or may not have a similar need and undertaking. It is absolutely okay if you don't. In fact, you may discover that you only ever have an audience of one. What do I mean by that? I mean, you may decide that this creative pursuit is just for you, just for your own validation, just to be able to pat yourself on the back for trying. You may not feel the need to put it out there for mass consumption. It's entirely up to you. When Paul Young wrote The Shack, it was at the urging of his wife, and it was originally intended to be nothing more than a way of documenting his particular perspective on theology for his children. His wife felt it was unique and worth preserving. When he sat down to write, what came out was an allegory that went in a direction he didn't see coming. And even after it was done, he only bound a few copies and gave them to family and a few close friends for Christmas. One person and then another asked to share it beyond that intimate circle. And within an astonishingly short period for the book world, he had amassed 1 million copies in circulation. It grew well beyond that, and he found he had more to say. His story is the exception rather than the rule, but it does demonstrate one extremely important point. Identifying your audience, the people you want to speak to, is possibly the first most essential step in the process. You may only do the thing for you. You may set out to memorialize a little bit of yourself for the future generations of your family. You may have something that the world needs to hear, see, or use, but it all starts with that audience of one. Do what speaks to you and that inner voice calling you to step into something you never imagined you would do. If you start from a place of trying to appeal to too many people, you won't ever have a good grasp of who you are and what you're trying to create. As I mentioned, I am building a platform that speaks to several diverse groups, but it didn't start there. I didn't start that broad. It all began with a seedling of an idea for a story I wanted to tell, inspired by a book I was reading. I jotted it down in the notes app on my phone just in case, but I moved on to other more pressing things. But it wouldn't leave me alone, and eventually I began developing it. Once I knew I had something I wanted others to see, I had to accept that it would be necessary to reach beyond my friend group. But I had the blessing of nurturing it in private, keeping it to myself until I was ready to share it with the world. But regardless of what you do with it afterward, give yourself the gift of savoring the creation process and let it first be for you. It will be authentic and worth doing.